Sophie hadn't seen him when she'd first walked into the room, but she'd felt magic in the air, and when he'd appeared before her, like some charming prince from a children's tale.
Who is that?
She somehow knew that he was the reason she'd stolen into the ball.
Apologies, have we met?
We do not need to have met. You are a Bridgerton, yes.
I see my reputation precedes me.
And found himself facing what had to be the most breathtaking woman he'd ever seen. But then she'd disappeared. It was as if the world were actually flat, and she'd fallen right off the edge. He'd learned nothing in that irritating interview with Lady Penwood, and when he'd queried his friends and family, no one knew anything about a young woman wearing a silver dress. A Bridgerton! Bridgerton! I can sport a Bridgerton anywhere. He'd thought he would stop looking for her, but he couldn't stop himself from watching for her. She wondered if he ever thought of the mysterious woman in silver with whom he'd shared one passionate kiss. She liked to think that he did, but she doubted that it had meant as much to him as it had to her. He'd been looking for her for 2 years. But even with all her fantasies, she never imagined she'd actually see him again, much less be rescued by him from a trio of licentious attackers. And she wanted him to know that she was the woman from the masquerade, and she desperately prayed that he would never recognize her. And she was just so bloody confused, and he kissed her, really kissed her, with fierce lips and probing tongue. In that moment, Benedict knew that he had to have her. There was a connection between them, a strange, inexplicable bond that he'd felt only one other time in his life, with the mystery lady from the masquerade. And while she was gone, vanished into thin air, Sophie was very real. He was tired of mirages. He wanted someone he could see, someone he could touch, and she needed him. She might not realize it yet, but she needed him. He saw her. Her. Not Sophie. Her. And yet, it was Sophie. The smile was the same. The gammy little point at the end of her chin was the same. It was all the same. She was the woman in silver.
Am I a machine without feelings? Do you think that because I am poor, obscure, plain and little, that I am soulless and heartless?
Did it matter that she was the woman from the masquerade? She'd lied to him about her identity, but he knew her soul. When they kissed, when they laughed, when they simply sat and talked, she had never feigned a moment. The woman who could make his heart sing with a simple smile. The woman who could fill him with contentment just through the simple act of sitting by him while he sketched. That was the real Sophie, and he loved her. It was strange to find a woman who could make him happy just with her mere presence. He didn't even have to see her, or hear her voice, or even smell her scent. He just had to know that she was there. If that wasn't love, he didn't know what was.